Welcome, welcome. I'm really looking forward to spending again some quite beautiful minutes as we just dive into a few things that are really dear to my heart and that are probably as well dear to your heart if you are truly interested in living life, I guess, from a space of authenticity, from a space from vulnerability, from strength, from an inner knowingness about who you are, what your direction in life is, to have clarity and just loving life as it unfolds before your very eyes. Um, that is what I would love to talk with you about. Now, what I'm going to do today is to guide you through a simple process that I hope allows you to be able in your life to quickly recenter yourself. And recentering, it's just a labeling, I guess, for the moment, for me trying to express to you that more often than not, we want to identify how to get back to connecting to ourself. Okay, if I look into my life and if I share with you a few experiences in my life, it has been truly extraordinary. The moments in my life that I've seen myself just getting caught up in the busyness of my mind, if this makes sense. And if you rethink or recap or go back into moments in your life when you have been emotionally compromised, for example, when your thoughts have been playing a cat and mouse game with yourself, where you just felt that even moments that you imagined to unfold, that they actually never unfolded the way that you imagine it to happen. And our thoughts in that regard certainly plays a big role, or the biggest role in life, if this makes sense, for us to just really creating emotional poison within ourselves, first emotionally and then as well physically within our body, that really prevents us to just living life to the fullest. So many people, they are filled or they live life by obligations, for example, about things in their life that they should be doing. So it's really important to have some solid ways, I guess, and we don't call it strategies, let's call it just approaches or ways in your life and in my life that I would love to share with you in a moment because you can't talk, right? That hopefully enable you and help you to find that equilibrium again in your life. So if you feel yourself getting caught up once again in this busyness, in this forward movement of you believing you have to get certain things done to fill something within yourself that is may not yet quite filled, hint hint, um, that is may a good way to actually go about it. And what it really is, before we get into it, I would love to frame it up, and we probably take about 30 more minutes, 40 more minutes to get that across to you, because I feel it's truly important for you to listen to that message. One way, or not my way, but the way I have experienced it in my life, and the way I feel most true about and most direct in terms of creating the, the the results I want from an emotional perspective. I don't speak about right now, getting out there and getting the next Ferrari or the next house. I really speak about the way you emotionally master life. The level of emotional intelligence you have, the way the behavioral flexibility you possess to go into tense situation and stressful situations in your life. And just being able to stay calm in these moments where everyone stresses out, right? And you may agree that, you know, if somebody is in a life-threatening situation and had a severe accident, that it may be worthwhile staying emotionally in control and on task rather than getting all confused and emotionally caught up in that moment, which really doesn't help anyone. Okay, because we can't think clearly, we can't act intuitively, because this mind just plays a kind of mouse game in that regard in this moment, right? So, and what we want to understand in that regard is that in these moments when you get emotionally caught up in life, when the mind gets the better of you, when you feel just emotionally compromised, in moments when you feel you haven't been performing the way you deserve or the way you felt you could perform, in terms of the calmness and in terms of the kindness you respond to certain tense situations coming from your family, maybe even. Okay. And how beautiful is it to just, you know, be in peace and just love that person in this moment even more. Okay. And one reason why we all get, including myself, and there are worse and better days and worse and better times. You know, if I go back 3, 4, 5 years ago, you know, I certainly, um, you know, was not as well off in that particular field than I'm nowadays. And this is just what I'm good at, and I'm crap at a lot of other things. You know, my wife has to, you know, help me out, you know, with daily living, to do the laundry, and to do the washing, and all that stuff. But this is a whole totally different story. But really, you know, if we get caught up in the mind shadow, um, and you know what I'm talking about. You know, if you don't feel emotionally just balanced, and if you feel there are worries and fears and anxiety coming into your life, that is always, listen very carefully, it is always due to your mind perceiving the world to be what it is not. So you are impressing pretty much your mind, the world construct, the world view upon other people, upon your life. And as soon as our mind and our thoughts tries to comprehend life and tries to impress something upon life, it is doomed to just create pain. Because you see, the mind has evolved, and thoughts have evolved over years since you were small. And it is just a perspective, and it is just your way of perceiving the world. There's no right and wrong. What you perceive to be right is right to you. What I perceive to be right is right to me. Nor it does not need to align with one another, yet both are right in that specific moment. Okay? So if we get emotionally caught up in moments in our lives, it's due to the way we have been thinking about our life and the way we have been perceiving life itself. And the way to recalibrate, re-center yourself is by letting go of that, by letting go of the need to think through, to intellectualize, to control the outcome, by letting go of the need to work towards goals for the moment. And the goals is an entirely big, massive topic that we have no time right now to get into. But just know this, that the goal itself is an illusion. The goal itself is an illusion. And that is something you may want to ponder upon. I just decided to not go further into it for various of reasons. Yeah, but just know that the present moment as it unfolds right now is really what we want, what we're after. We're after the experience itself. We're not after a future goal. We're not after having the Ferrari or the house. It's the experience we receive or we emotionally experience by having that. And you know all these things. I don't need to get into that further. But it comes back to the moment. It comes back to the journey of the way you live life, the level of consciousness, the level of awareness you apply throughout your day, throughout every moment of it, life, as life unfolds. And when we get caught up in this past contemplation of future shoulds or worries, for example, it is again largely or entirely due to the way we have been perceiving life and the way we have been thinking and contemplating about life. And what we want to do is just to dissociate again from that, to create space in between those thoughts. And the best way, hands down, for myself, is to create silence in your life. And silence doesn't mean for the moment it has to be silent in your home or silent in general in your external environment. Silence means right now, the way I like to describe it, as an internal silence. By dissolving or by casting away that mind shadow that has been distracting you from creating the clarity in your life, from creating the direction in your life, from creating the authenticity and the strength coming from within in your life. It really it prevented you from going there. And again, we're getting out of the minds by casting that away, by making space again to just experience life in silence. And it is not something that just comes easily to everyone. It may does, it may not. I remember myself when I started to, we may call that now meditation. When I started to meditate, it was an absolute struggle. It really was. I couldn't even sit still for 5 minutes. And nowadays, life truly, to a very large extent, has become one big meditation, which is just extraordinary. And I'm not saying that to tell you how great I am. It has nothing to do with it at all. But it has to do with the awareness that meditation or creating silence within does not need to be a conscious process. It can be integrated into your life. I met with a dear friend of mine yesterday, and we spoke about a quote that I've written that goes something along the line to that that meditation is not a separate act from life. But once you fully embody that, it becomes a beautiful symphony called life. And that truly is the way I would love you to see life to unfold. It suddenly, once you're able to integrate that, it suddenly becomes this beautiful symphony where you just attune to yourself and ask yourself, where are you at? Are you right now in a state of your life that demands you to create in the physical realm? Or are you in a state of life that demands you to stop, to just stop everything, and to be, and to simply be aware of the present moment? And it sounds like either or, but really it's an integration. And once you're able to integrate this doing and being, this is when mastery happens. I said long time ago that success nowadays to me is, or I recognize mastery, let's maybe say it like this. if I see someone physically in the physical appearance, somebody to be physically busy, running around in frenzy, doing all sorts of things, having meetings, meeting friends, loving life in all sorts of directions, but yet being mindful and still just within, right? And this is where I see truly mastery unfolds. If you look at a Roger Federer with playing tennis, or a Rafael Nadal, or Andy Murray, I'm not sure if you know those guys, but if you imagine yourself right now watching a tennis match, they're physically very busy on the tennis courts. But mastery happens if they are still in their mind and just intuitively react to moments that they have been trained for so many years and decades. And this takes time, it really does. It does not just happen for everyone like that. It may, but it does not have to. So enough said. What I would love to do right now is to actually guide you through a process that I feel is the most smoothest way to slip into, let's just call it the gap, if you wish, for the moment. And you can only slip into the gap by letting go of the need to control your thoughts, and that is not easy for many people, for most people. So I would love you to guide you through my way of slipping into that, for you really to create space again, to find silence within. You will create peace, bliss, an inner stillness that really enables you to walk into a very powerful direction, because you suddenly don't have to be any more superior from an egoistical standpoint. You don't anymore have to be, you do not feel any more inferior either. So you come from an innate power that does not anymore align with inferiority, with you being inferior. Yeah, and the ego mind has been cast away, and so it doesn't anymore create either that feeling of needing to be superior, like so many people out there. And it becomes a beautiful symphony of working with humanity and mankind to just live life, the way you deserve it, to experience life again, to listen to birds singing, to seeing beautiful, beautiful landscapes and clouds soaring through, by touching amazing surfaces and by really getting a sense of what the world is about, by smelling flowers, by tasting beautiful, beautiful herbs and beautiful food. So this is what comes back if you embrace what we're going through right now. Alright, so what I would love to do is to just start off with a bit of breathing, and I love to breathe. If you know me, you will recognize that breathing is a big part of my life, right? And not just of my life, but also of everyone else's life. Unfortunately, lots of breathing is very shallow. And really, unless we really consciously or deeply breathe and really make time and space for that, it is a very unconscious process, if you would agree. Even if you sleep, you continue breathing, right? So it is fair to say that if we bring that into our conscious awareness again, it may cause us to, again, to fill something within up that hasn't been filled for quite a while. So anyway, let's start breathing, and I would love you right now to just close your eyes and just leave your eyes closed once we come back. All right? So just settle in. By the way, I'm recording this as well, in case you want to, go back to that, and I will provide the link on my website as well. So just settle in and relax, just relax your body. And I would love you right now just to, just in your own time, to take a few conscious deep breaths. So you inhale through your nose and you exhale through your mouth. And you inhale through your nose and you exhale through your mouth. And just deepen your breath as you go. Just do it in your own time and just follow me what I'm doing. Just focus on your breath. Deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Just relax and settle in. Beautiful. And what I would love you to do right now, as we relax more and more and settle down more and more, I would love you to, I would just love you to observe your thoughts. Just observe your thoughts. Don't do anything with it, just observe them. What's happening up there? What thoughts are you having or not having? Not have. Just witness that. Just observe that. Just keep your breathing up nice and deep, only observing your thoughts. Keep your breath deep. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. That's good. Keep observing your thoughts just for a little while. Beautiful. What I would love you to do next is to cast this thought away once it comes in. So I'd love you to imagine your head, and I'd love you to imagine that at times, sometimes more frequently than other times, thoughts come in from all sorts of directions. And I want you to imagine your skull to be like a shield. That once a thought hits the skull, that it bounces off into the infinity, into the infinite sky. It literally bounces off and it's gone in that moment. So you see and you imagine thoughts slowly, with a steady pace, slowly hovering towards your skull, towards your mind, right? And once they come close and hit the skull, they bounce off into the infinite sky and they are gone. They just vanish. We do that with every thought that comes in. Keep your breathing up nice and deep. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Let's do that for a few minutes. So a thought comes in, slowly, steady pace. Comes close, hits the skull, and once it does hit the skull, it just bounces off into the infinite sky, and it's gone, it's vanished. And this shield right now just helps you to cast those thoughts away, to create space and silence within yourself. Can you feel it? I certainly can. You just watch your thought as it bounces off. Just say goodbye to it. Just say thank you. Just say goodbye. I do not need you right now. I'm here to create space. See them cast away. You see them bounce off. What a magnificent way of saying thank you. What I would love you to do next, I would love you to use your right hand. Just use your right hand. I would like you to touch and to feel the leg that your hand is right now sitting on. I would love you to touch your pants, your trousers, on your thigh, on your leg, and really put all your attention onto the feeling itself. I would love you to really be in it, to really experience your hands physically touching the cloth and the material of your trousers, whatever you're wearing on your legs right now. Really put all your attention in it. Really experience that. Just be in awe almost of it. Just experience that. That's all you gotta do, my friend. It's so beautiful to experience life again. What a wonderful journey. It's really feel it. Just really be there within the sensation of it. We don't need any fancy strategies for that. We just have fun, don't we? We just experience life again, right? It's beautiful. Wonderful. Just really be in that moment. And what I would love you to do next is to just be with your breath. Just let go of the need to touch anything. Now you are with your breath. You probably are somewhere around where the inhale hits the nostrils. Just really be with your breath. Nice and calm, peaceful. You're just totally with your breath as you inhale. You're utterly with it when you exhale 3 months as well. Just be with your breath. The thought comes in, just watch it as it bounces off. Beautiful. Now I would love you to take the next in breath. I would love you to follow that breath all the way into your heart. Every inhale, follow it all the way into your heart. And also the exhale as well. Breathe it right into your heart. Just be there. Every breath you breathe into your heart. Just follow it there. That's right. Just follow your breath into your heart. Just stay there, right there. Stay right where you are. And let that expand right where you are. It's almost like a pulsating. It expands more and more. Let it expand. Be right in your eye. Let it expand so much so. Let it expand so much so that it expands beyond your body. Beyond the room you're sitting in. Beyond your house. Beyond your street. Let it expand. Let it expand, in fact, so much so that the entire universe is covered by your expansion. Just for a while, be with the universe. Just for a while, be the universe. There's nothing to do right here. There's nothing to do. Just be. Stop. Just stop it all and experience life again. Beautiful. And what I would love you right now to do, I would love you to physically just raise your hands slowly. Just raise your hands slowly. I would love you to bring yourself back physically. And I would love you just by doing that. The way we do that is just by pushing yourself slowly back into your body. It's almost so that the expansion we have created, or you have created within you, just slowly and gently, safely, you just push it slowly back into your body. And just grab it all, Grab all that white light, that expansion that you have created. Just fill yourself up with it. That's right. It's from all sorts of directions. That's right. And it becomes smaller and smaller, and you push it back into your heart, in fact. Ah, just feel the love coming in. Feel the expansion, the space, the silence, the peace, the bliss. And really push it all the way into your heart. Push it all the way in, nicely, gently, safely, just in the speed that is right for you. Oh my gosh, there you are. I'd love you to really deeply breathe that in now. A few deep breaths. Keep your hands on your heart. Oh, how does this feel, eh? It's beautiful. Wonderful. And in your own time, I'd love you just to tap your legs, come back, just tap your legs, literally massage your legs a little bit, and maybe your arms if you like, yes. Oh, come back. A bit of a stretch. Oh, just come back. Just touch your legs. Just keep your eyes closed if you wish. And slowly, gently, if you feel ready, just slowly open your eyes. Slowly open your eyes. There you are. Beautiful. Man, I really enjoyed that. I really did enjoy that. And I hope you did too. I really hope you did too. Feel free to watch this video back. I will make that available. Not sure where yet. Certainly at the website, our website. Just whenever you feel it is time for you again to experience what you're right now experiencing, just do that activity. Just follow those little process we went through. From breathing, observing your thoughts, casting it away, and remember the skull bouncing off. To go into the physical sensation of it. Maybe it's touching your legs, maybe it's listening to sounds. To moving into your breath, to really be with your breath, to taking that breath into your heart and to really expand that there before we bring that back in. And that activity or that little exercise, that little practice may take you, after a bit of practice, maybe just 5 minutes a day. It really, really, truly does wonders. It really does. But thank you so much. It was an absolute joy to be with you today. I hope you have a beautiful day. I am looking forward to getting to know you, to staying close to you, to being a family that hangs out, that grows, that evolves, that experiences lives. If you enjoyed what you experienced with me, just feel free to contact me, to stay close to me. We do all sorts of wonderful things, from getaways to retreats to all sorts of private coachings and to beautiful gatherings we do all year long. Thank you so much. Much love. This is Zach Richman. Take care.